Donald Trump. We don't deserve him.
You mess with Trump, he'll kick your rump. All eyes were on the Oval Office yesterday as Trump forced the story onto the global stage when he played a video for the South African president about white farmers being killed in his own country. But first, turn the lights down.
Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. And just put this on. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers. Each one of those white things you see is a cross. And there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers.
Okay, so we're on the topic of murdered white farmers, the story largely ignored by the media. Then out of nowhere, NBC pretty boy Peter Alexander abruptly changed the topic.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, you gotta get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. And you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead.
I haven't seen someone get chewed out like that since I borrowed Brit Hume's chaps without asking. Trump got back on track and he wouldn't let the subject go. I wonder if he's got articles over the last few days.
These are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death, 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 horrible death, death. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are so bad. You're such a bad reporter. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it.
Wow, that Peter dude really got under his skin. But Trump was steadfast in bringing the plight of the South African farmer to the forefront because they're being executed and they happen to be white.
They're being executed, and they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. Their land is being confiscated, and in many cases they're being killed. But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And if we had a real news or real press or media, we don't have that because they won't talk about this because they're all guys like that idiot.
We don't deserve him. Andrew, I'm astounded, always astounded at his relentlessness. He's like Joy Behar on a meat truck. Like he sunk his teeth into this issue, and he knew that this was an opportunity. And normally in these events, it's a photo op. You shake hands, you promise that you're gonna do business together, see you later. No, he goes, dim the lights.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you a movie.
Yeah. Boiling the norm. This was so raw, and the way in which he communicates is so basic that anybody can understand it. I could show that to my kids, and they would get what's going on because it's emotional, right? It's visceral. What I loved what he did, it was almost like the wife that catches the husband cheating, and he comes in, she's like, you cheating on me? No. And then she pulls out the phone records and just starts showing, 714, right, the numbers. And this is a really bad marriage that's just hanging by a thread, the way in which he communicates with the media, because they're all in a really tight room. I mean, you know this, right? So I can only imagine how annoyed he gets by all of them being there at all times. And it's like, you're waiting to blow up on your partner at some point, and then that marriage, and it's over something insignificant, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you come home, you want a bowl of cereal, you go to grab the milk, and there's a quarter cup of milk in there. You were thinking about that cereal all day long, and then you blow up. The whole marriage is done because of the milk. That's what happened to this reporter right here. Trump just lashed into him.
I feel like there's something personal going on, Andrew. You mentioned a specific area code. 714. What I mean. 714. That's Irvine, California, right?
Very good.
Thank you.
Who have you been texting from there?
is Irvine, right? I think it is. I think it is. Kaylee. It's great. I mean, one of the things, so the media gets mad. They were mad about he misidentified the crosses. They missed the big point, that they just saw news being made. He did that all in front of the world, whereas the previous administration did nothing in front of anybody.
Yeah, and they asked no questions about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. I remember standing at the podium and just being yelled at by people. What did Trump do at Walter Reed in 2019? He went in for a routine exam. At the same time, Biden's engaged in this decline, and they're not asking any questions. It's crazy. You know, my tactic with the press, it was funny, though, with, like, Jim Acosta. I try a little sugar first, like, Jim, I like that tie. You look very nice today. And then go in for the kill. But I love that President Trump, he just goes for the kill, and he goes and he goes and he body slams for a solid hour.
Yes.
And I would have loved to see the look on Peter Alexander's face as he was walking out, just head hanging in shame after being tackled by the commander-in-chief and the leader of the free world. It's a beautiful thing to behold, Trump world. We do not deserve him. And I love that you have a segment now that reflects that.
What's your take on this whole thing, Jim?
I mean, he's like the Don Rickles of presidents.
Yeah.
Just going after people. Like, he should do a Vegas residency after he's done. He'd be perfect. You know, but it is kind of his fault. If he would have looked at the list of reporters he's supposed to call on, like Biden did, then maybe he wouldn't have called on that. Remember that?
Yeah.
I can't call on you. I'm going to get in trouble.
Yes.
But that footage was horrific, though,
Yeah.
of what was going on over there. That sucks. That was my retirement plan, to be a white farmer over in South Africa. So.
Wow. I don't know where to go next. I mean, there's like, where do you go after that?
Chipotle.
Yeah. All right, Joe. How do you feel about all this?
It's got to be frustrating being Peter Alexander. I feel a little bad for him because, like, here he's calling this white guy, this South African leader in charge of genocide, but then he just starts complaining about Peter Alexander to him. That's got to feel a little weird. They're like, here's the genocide guy, but I want to talk about this reporter. He's an idiot, you know. You just kill a lot of people, but he's dumb. But my whole issue with this whole thing is, like, a lot of people on the left will say that, oh, the Florida so-called Don't Say Gay bill is genocide because they don't let elementary school teachers talk about their sex lives. Well, I want to ask those people, how many stadiums full of people calling for white people to be murdered do you need? Because I only need one stadium, and then I'm canceling my vacation to South Africa.
So true. All right. Up next, a Democrat's lavish lifestyle exposed.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like tickets to see Gutfeld, go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld and click on the link to join our studio audience.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.